Hi, I'm Martha Higdon, and today I'm going to show you this lovely quilt called Gardenlife, Lazy Gardener's Quilt by Tilda. And what happened is a customer made the quilt. She brought it to me, showed me the picture, and says, I want it quilted just like that. So I do try to appease her, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how I'm going to quilt it just like the picture. First, the quilt's on a diagonal. It's a lot of half square triangles. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the feather one. So here's the diagonal. This one is going to be for the feathers. This is the fabric that has designs on it. The other side has solids. So remember, when you quilt, you're going to see more of your quilting on the solid than you're going to see on your printed fabrics. So this one is a floral fabric. So what I'm going to do, I have the Handy Quilter Wave D as in dog ruler. And what I'm going to do here is I am going to, remember it's going to have a lot of start and stops. So I'm going to do my start and stop here. And then I am going to follow my wave ruler to the end, stop, reposition my ruler, and finish all the way. Once I'm down here, then I'm going to start filling in my feathers. And I'm going to fill it all the way to the edge to fill it in. Remember, you're not going to see it as much because we have, getting a little sloppy there. All right, now there is a 1/4 inch marking on the ruler. I'm up here, I'm going to line up that 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to mark with my ruler, which gives me a little bit of an open spine. And because we're using wool batting, that's going to pop on this side. Then you're just going to come back and you're going to finish the feathers on this side, going all the way up the spine. So yes, you're going to have a lot of start and stops, have to stop there. Now I'm going to demonstrate over here on my Handy Quilter Fusion machine. I'm going to show you how we're going to do the feathers. Okay. So right over here, you can see where I stopped when I advanced the quilt, and now I'm ready to start again. I'm going to do needle down, needle up, bring the bobbin thread to the top, and I'm going to do a few locking stitches to lock it in place. I have my ruler foot on to secure my ruler. I have my ruler, the HQD wave ruler, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up on the line here so that I can make my wave all the way through. I'm set at 10 stitches per inch. I'm in cruise at 20% speed. That's my speed. It's going to be different for everybody. And I will hit start once. I get to the middle of my ruler and I stop so that I can reposition my hands. I get to the end of the ruler, I stop and I reposition the ruler. And then back out. Then I'm going to do my feathers all the way up. Get to the top, I stop, and then I'm going to line up. The ruler has a 1/4 inch line. I'm going to line it up. So I'm going to I'm going to move the needle and then move it over to the other line, do a locking stitch. Now I can line up the ruler. I have my 1/4 inch. I'm going to line it up so that it's right on that line. Come halfway, stop. Reposition my hands, make sure it's still lined up. Again, reposition to the end, using that line on the registration line on the ruler. I'm coming all the way to the end, and then I'm going to do the feathers up the spine. at the end, needle up, pull your threads, move it away, and do your tie off. Pull the bobbin thread to the top and clip all your threads. So you can see on the fabric, you can't really see the feathering because of the coloring, but at a certain angle, you will see the pop of those feathers because of this beautiful wool batting. So that's how we're going to do one diagonal. Now we're going to work on the second diagonal of the quilt. On this one, we are going to use a straight edge ruler. I just happen to have my Handy Quilter 2x10 skinny ruler. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to line it up and I'm going to do in the ditch. And I'm going to go all the way down that piece line. I'm going to move it. There's a dotted line. And I'm going to then come back up and go all the way through so that I have a nice little area here. Then I'm going to find the marking on my ruler and then I'm going to come back down again. The hardest thing is trying to keep it straight. You can pre-mark this beforehand if you didn't want to use the lines on the ruler. So on this first one, this one is empty. And then on this one here, I'm going to do ribbon candy. So to do ribbon candy, you must practice it beforehand. So in grade school, we had this paper that had the dotted lines. So that's what I have to pretend I'm looking at. And what I'm doing is I'm making the ribbon candy. I'm going to go up and down. I'm going to kiss below the dotted line. And then I'm going to come to the top and I'm going to hit above the dotted line. Come, hit down below the dotted line, hit above the dotted line, below, above, below, above, below, above, and below. And you're going to go back and forth. And this is what's ribbon candy. If you want to mark those dotted lines and then remove them, you can. Now, you're going to see that I may have some overlapping. I may have some gaps. It's free motion. It's organic. It's not going to be perfect. It's not a computer doing it. It's you free motion quilting it. So when I made my two lines, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the ribbon candy. And I'm just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All the way through. So you would want to practice beforehand. Get that rhythm down pat. And here, because we're going to have a lot of tie-offs, I can then go up here and then I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to make another straight line down to give me my dotted line. I'm going to do a tie-off. Now I'm going to go on this side. Straight line, come down a 1/4 inch, get a straight line. Then I'm going to tie off. I'm going to come back up here and then I'm going to measure down about 1 inch and I'm going to come down with a straight line. Here, I'm going to do I'm going to do the ribbon candy again. So I got 2 rows of ribbon candy, back and forth with the ribbon candy. Once I get here, I'm going to use my ruler, 1/4 inch down. Now I have this area right here. Now I'm going to do full circles. So to do circles, all I'm doing is circle around, up and around, and back and around, back and around. So you see I'm overlapping and I'm just doing circles, back and forth, back and forth. So this is my line here in the center. There's an open area there. I'm going to go halfway, all the way around, halfway, circle, 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 circle. And that's why I'm filling it in as fast as I want to go. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to have overlapping. Once the quilt is washed, it's not going to be a big deal. If you want to be more precise, you can slow down and make sure you're getting your circles. So we're going to do 3 or 4, 5, 6 lines of straight lines, 2 lines of ribbon candy, and a row of circles to fill in this second area. Remember, we're working on a diagonal with the quilt, so we will have starts and stops at the front and back. Okay, if you'll come over here, we'll do one of those sections. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the piecing line for my first line, needle down, needle up, bring my bobbin thread to the top, do a few locking stitches. And on this quilt, she added a border, which is not in the picture. So what we decided to do is just extend those all the way out to the border. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to go straight down. Move my ruler, straight down. There's my first line. And then I'm going to move my machine over to the 1/4 so that my ruler is actually lined right up on where I just quilted, and it'll be about a 1/4 inch in. because the needle is a 1/4 inch away from the ruler. And I want to line it up, and I want to make sure I hit the line that I've already quilted. Okay. Once I got there, I can then lift and then move over to my next line, and then I'm going to come in. I'm going to line up the line on my ruler here of what I've already quilted. If you want more precise lines, mark your quilt beforehand. And there's my line. This is my row of ribbon candy. So I'm going to do ribbon candy. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Getting closer to where I meet. So I'm going to cut my loose threads that I had from earlier there so that I can try to make sure I'm getting right on my dot there with my other ribbon candy. And that's in. I'm going to jump, needle up, needle down. I'm going to move over to the next line, line it up, 1/4 inch. This time I'm on the dotted line, and I go straight down. Okay. There's my line. I'm going to have to tie off, or I'm going to have to come over here to the other side. I'm going to line it up with the piecing for the diagonal. I'm trying to do not to do as many tie-offs as I can. I'm going to go up as far as I can with the ruler. Again, I come in, go over a 1/4 inch. Now I can line the ruler up and use my sure foot as my guide. Or I can turn the ruler this way and come out this side. I'll put it on this side so that you can see it on the camera. Now I'm using the side of my sure foot to make my area. Once I'm down there, since I need that second line to fill in, I will have to do a tie off. Cut my threads. And then I can line up here for my other row of ribbon candy, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and go over here and finish the center row so that we can do the circles. Needle up, needle down. Measure, should line that line up on the registration line. Come all the way through. Now I'm gonna do circles. And what I'm doing is just a full circle and a full circle and half, all the way half around, a full circle, and back around, a full circle, back around, a full circle, back around. Until it matches. And then I can tie off and make my straight lines and finish up this block. So a lot of people were asking me why I did it free motion and did not do it with my computer, because I do have a computer. Again, I would have to digitize those designs, and then I'd have to set it on a diagonal. And I am trying to get it done as quick as possible. So I decided to do free motion with the ribbon candy, circles, straight line rulers, and the feathers using the Wave D ruler to make the spine, and then going to do my feathers. So I love this quilt, and I think you're going to enjoy quilting it. If you check out Gardenlife, Lazy Quilter's Quilt by Tilda, I think you'll also fall in love with this quilt. I'm going to say that the fabrics make this quilt. You notice the contrast between the florals and the solids. The solid is what's really going to make your quilting pop and show. I have Omni 40 weight thread on, so it's going to be more definition because of the thicker thread, so you're really going to see the quilting. You're not going to see so much in the printed fabrics, but when you get it to a side, this wool Quilter's Dream is going to make it really pop, and I think you're going to really enjoy quilting this quilt. Look for more videos at Quilting by Martha.